Good afternoon. We are joined by Gary Watkins, head coach of San Diego Mesa College football. Coach Watkins, it's that time of the year again. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it feels like it's snuck back up on us, Bo. It's good to be with you again.
Long but short off season, and I'm sure you guys being back on the field, especially these past couple of weeks where it's been 90 degrees plus, has been kind of a challenge.
Yeah,
Staying cool out there. And I think today was the hottest of them all. Some parts of the county reaching up to 102 degrees. So
I
um,
thought I was going through fall camp again in Nashville.
hopefully the weather cooperates a little better tomorrow as the 2026 campaign kicks off. East Los Angeles College tomorrow at 6 p.m. Coach, let's get right into it. Want to go talk about last season real quick. Definitely wasn't the season we were expecting. Had a lot of challenges. Had a lot of games in which the ball just didn't bounce our way. Tell me about your recap and your recollection of last year's season.
Yeah, last year was last year, like you said, right? It wasn't what we had hoped to achieve, but our guys went out there and fought hard each and every week. The scoreboard is what it was, the record is what it was, and
Mm-hmm.
we lost a couple games, a couple 50-50 games that typically have gone our way in years past. Did not. I mean, at one point, I think we were 2-3 maybe, and had lost 3 games by a total of 8 points. We
Mm-hmm.
had a 3 point loss to Citrus, 3 point loss to Mount Sac, and then we lost a double overtime game by 2 points. And it does. I mean, bottom line is you lose those games, right? It is what it is. Those are L's in that column, But our guys were in it. Our guys fought. They played hard. They stayed together, and now we've been able to get back to the drawing board and try to find some ways to better our program and do some things a little bit differently and hoping to get a different result. And we're looking forward to seeing if those new ways have a positive outcome
Hmm.
for us.
Absolutely. And again, it's just, sometimes you do have those years where certain things just don't click or certain things just don't bounce your way. And again, I've known you for close to a decade now. It's,
Yeah.
as you said, it's one of those things is you are what your record is, right?
Yeah.
That's what your record.
I think the thing too, Bo, is that like we have taken um, lots of care in how we've built the San Diego Mesa football program, and so one year that doesn't necessarily go our way isn't going to rock our foundation. We believe
Yeah.
that we do it the right way and we build it the right way. And when storms rise, I always tell our guys, hey, we're a hell of a lot safer in the boat. There's no reason to jump
Sure.
off the boat and panic. Just keep doing what we believe is the right thing to do and doing it the right way, and we believe that we'll be right back on track.
Yeah, and I think you hit it on the head right there. And again, some of those games last season, the way it started, especially at towards the beginning and the middle of the season, there were times when some of the players could have just said, "Hey, you know what? This is one of those seasons. We're just going to give up." But no, everyone kept their head high. Everyone kept pushing forward. And besides the records improving and the play improving, as always, the important part of what you do and what the program does is getting these players out of there, getting these players moving on to a four-year university and continuing their athletic and academic career. So, as you always preach from the get-go, yeah, the athletic side is important, but what's always even more important is, yeah, we didn't have the year on the field per se. And again, that's not taking a knock because, like I said, 4-6, you were 3-4 at the conference, and 3 of those losses, as you mentioned, 2 games, losses by 3, and then a double overtime loss, Southwestern, and it's one of those things. But in the end, as the program's always has always done, is everything is measured by what the program does and moving the players forward. And in a nutshell, that's what is incredible about Mesa and the athletic department.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, even though we didn't have the success that we wanted to have on the field, we still dominated off the field. Our,
Yeah,
our, our matriculation numbers were still extremely high. Some tons, I shouldn't say tons, but a number of guys at Division One level, the Division Two level, guys who transfer and are playing on money. Academically, we still had 13 all-state scholar athletes.
mm-hmm.
Team GPA were 3.0, and so the football program is more than just 10 Saturdays out of the year.
Sure.
What we do in regards to holistic development of the student athlete is something that we take great pride in. Our athletic director, Dean Shoemaker, gives us very simple guidelines, which is get them in and recruit them, love them up while we got them, and then ship them out on money. And so we try our best to keep the main thing the main thing.
Yep.
And we believe that doing those things well also will lead to success on the field. And so we're in no way worried. We're in no way weary. We're in no way doubting our process. We're looking forward to getting after it here in 2026.
Well, there you go. That's a perfect segue into it. Moving forward in 2026, 2027. Tell me about the team this year. Are there any surprises that have happened during camp? Are there any things that have stood out? Obviously, without giving away, the plan, considering tomorrow's season opener is less than 24 hours away. What has been the feel on the field this year, besides being hot?
Right. Besides being hot, I think the feel throughout training camp is that we have a great group of young men who are hungry and excited to be part of our program. We were able to rebuild some areas in which we were lacking last year, and we have a really good group of talented individuals. We're looking forward to getting after it tomorrow evening up at East LA. And so it's been a pleasure working with these guys. They've been a lot of fun watching them grow and develop from spring ball through the summer up and through fall camp. And even into ELAC prep week, it's been a pleasure for me. As you know, I've been away for a couple springs coaching in the UFL, and so it was really nice to be here this spring with the guys and help them develop, throughout the entirety of the off season, which I hadn't done in 3 years pursuing other career goals. And so it was nice. I got to know them on a more personal level, more intimate level. Spend some more time with the quarterbacks, spend some more time with the coaches that we brought on board. So we're excited, Bo. We are excited. We're going to have some guys flying around playing a exciting brand of Mesa football here tomorrow night.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things I was just taking a look at the roster a couple of days ago. But you got some monsters on the line on both sides. Particularly, obviously, you love the big guys on the offensive line, and you see guys that are men and men, just how gigantic they are, and it'll be interesting to see if see how that offense is going to run, and obviously the defense as well to support it. Again, it's hard to ask as far as what the strategy is going to be, what the theme is going to be, but what type of an offense system do you think you're going to have this year with the quarterbacks? I'm not quite sure if you've named who your QB is, and I don't think that's something you want to bring out right now, but what is it going to be like this year? What's your thoughts on how you're going to attack, not just tomorrow against ELAC, but throughout the year?
Yeah, I think that, we plan to have a wide open, balanced attack this season.
Yeah.
Our MO as a program has always been to play solid offense, to play great defense and great special teams, and execute at a high level, be disciplined. I think I'm hoping, knock on wood, I'm praying that we can create some more explosive on offense. You know what I mean? Like we go against some very explosive offenses in our conference every single year. You got Riverside, who every year is putting up large numbers offensively. You got Coach Fisher over at Saddleback College, who every time we seem to play them, they're going to try to blow the scoreboard up on us. That's just how they get down. And so we've had some great games with them. And so offensively, obviously, we have to take the next step as a program and begin to play with. In order to play with those guys, we're going to have to be more dynamic and more explosive on offense. And so that's what we're hoping to be able to achieve this upcoming season offensively.
Yeah, and going back to the conference in National Southern, I mean, is it safe to say right now the team to beat will be Saddleback?
I mean, yeah. If they won it last year, it's kind of hard to discount what Coach Fisher has done along with his staff up there at Mission Viejo. I mean, they've done a great job. They put a great brand of ball for quite some time. They're going to be tough. They're going to be physical. They made a deep run in the playoffs this past season. Beat some quality football teams for sure along the way. And so much respect to Saddleback. Obviously, I'm not going to talk too much about Saddleback. They're a little ways down into the future.
Yeah,
we're treating this thing like we got 10 one-game seasons, and so. But yes, to answer your question, I would say that Saddleback, being the reigning conference champion, deserves to still be respected as such.
Yeah, I mean, you really take a look at the league itself. It's just, I
Yeah,
mean, it is a tough conference
yeah,
you're on. You got the
yeah.
Saddlebacks, El Caminos, the mainstay of Riverside, and it's just one of those things that there really is no off week. You
There
have
is
to
no
be
off
there
week.
every
There
single
is no off week. I don't care what any of the other coaches say. The FCFA National
yeah.
South is by far the toughest conference in the SCFA. I mean, every single week
Mhm.
you're playing playoff caliber football teams. Every single week is a playoff game. When you have 8 teams in a conference,
Yeah.
every game matters. I feel like I'm coaching in the SEC every weekend.
Mhm.
And so that's exciting, right? That's exciting. I mean, it's always fun to get together with those high caliber teams and get after it and see how it sorts out at the end.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I know you're busy, and I know you're still going through. So I'm sure the notes. ELAC tomorrow, 6 p.m. What do we know about them? What needs to be done, and how do we come out with a victory? And tell me about what you know about that program.
Yeah, so I mean, historically we've played a number of games since I've been the head coach, and even before I was a head coach back in 2017, we went against East LA that year. But we've had some epic battles against East LA over the course of my tenure here at Mesa College. They're always talented. They're always big. They're always athletic. They have a new head coach. Coach Lopez is back, but Coach Godinez, who's still on staff, serving as their program's general manager. Um, they've always built teams that you're just like, holy smokes, where do they find these guys? And so I don't expect anything less tomorrow evening. I expect to get off that bus in East Los Angeles and be in a 15 round heavyweight bout. That's what I'm telling the boys. That's what I'm preaching to the boys. As you know, last year our game went down to the last 5 minutes of the game. It was
Yeah.
close. I think they outgained us offensively. I think it ended up being a 14-point game or something like that towards the end, but it was definitely way closer than what the score may have dictated. And that's only a 14-point. I mean, that thing
Yeah.
was tight, and so we've played them multiple times, overtime games, games where it comes down to the last possession. And so we've been preaching and teaching all week that, it's going to take 60 minutes. And hopefully, it doesn't take any more than that, but if it does, we'll be ready to rock and roll in OT as well. But we're going to go out there and play our brand of ball and control what we can control, and hopefully come out on the right side of the outcome.
Absolutely, yeah. ELAC always comes prepared. They're a very well coached football team. Last year, like you mentioned, close game. It was a 35-20 victory, and it was one of those games that what separated were the big plays that happened. If I recall correctly, the very first play of the game was a 92-yard kickoff return by Aliante
Yeah,
Logan.
yeah,
And that was one of those games that just kept going back and forth and long drives. I think there was a 50, I want to say it was a 50 or close to 50-yard field goal. So yeah, they are always prepared. And well, Coach, again, thank you for your time. Excited for the season to kick off. No pun intended there.
yeah.
Have a safe drive tomorrow, and let's catch up afterwards, and hopefully we're talking about a victory.
All right, well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
All right, now.